about it after. What's up, healers? Marina Simone in the house. We are live everywhere. I mean, like everywhere you can imagine. I love StreamYard. Like, this is like the best thing ever, because before I used to be like, I need to re-download it and then re-upload it and make sure it looks like it's live. No, now we could just be everywhere. So what up? So excited to have you here. Do me a favor. I didn't let you all know I was going live, and that's okay. Just drop in the comments if you're live or if you're on the replay. And I want to know what you had for breakfast. I'm intermittent fasting, so that would be a big 0. That'd be a big nada. You know how we starve ourselves now, and then we call it intermittent fasting? That's what I'm doing right now, because I got to get ready for the stage. For the stage, yes? Virtual stage. For those of you that don't know who's sitting right next to me, this is Mr. ATM, John Melton. Yes, I gave him the name of Mr. ATM because he is a genius when it comes to the strategy. And there's like strategies within the ATM system that you've done and that you've showed me that's actually helped me get more attention of my prospects. So I got to say thank you for that. But before we do that, if you don't know who John is, he is incredible. Am I allowed to say how much volume you do? Probably not. Is that like,
sure?
Okay. So
I say it. So,
five
someone,
plus, right? Is that where we're at?
Yeah, we're already over 5 for this month. So we're on pace to have the biggest month of our network marketing career. So I always tell people, I'm like, listen, right now is the time to run. Right now, this year
is the time to run.
Right.
That's incredible. That's volume too. Let's just be clear. That's volume. That's not even dollar sales. And you know how companies are, like, volume doesn't always equal a dollar sale. Right. So do the math in your head there, people. If you need to listen up about building in Facebook groups, now is the time. If you have people that are telling you that Facebook groups don't work, they're lying to you. If they're telling you that the Facebook group and the ATM strategy is dead, they're still lying to you, because they're probably not actively building. That's all I'm going to kind of just like put out there, if you know what I mean. They're just not actively building, so they don't know what works and what doesn't technically, you know what I mean? So we're going to kind of dive into why that's, a load of poo-poo, and ways that why you need to really look at Facebook groups as being a part of your main strategy for yourself and for your team of building a successful network marketing business. And John's actually going to be breaking down the ATM strategy and some really cool things at the summit. But John, what do you think when you hear someone say to you, like, well, Facebook groups had all these changes and now it's like, don't use it? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's funny because ultimately that's the constant, right? In our business, things are always changing.
Yeah.
What we're talking about right now and promoting today, we weren't promoting maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. Like, TikTok wasn't even a thing a couple years ago, and now it's fairly hot, right? Reels, this new strategy on Instagram, which is a TikTok version on Instagram. Like there's constant evolution and changes, things that we just have to embrace. Like, it's just the way it is. But to say that Facebook groups are dead or that strategy doesn't work, which there are some trainers, there are some leaders that say that. I think ultimately it's because they either don't know what they're doing and they weren't getting results doing it, or their results, stifled or whatever. They became stagnant. Their groups became boring, dead, whatever. But the truth is, that's like saying building community is dead, right? Or people that would say, emailing your list and having an email list period is dead. And I know people that crush it sending out emails and blogging and strategies that would be considered old school. They are absolutely crushing it using those strategies. I think it's just ultimately making sure you're doing it the right way. And one thing that you're really great at, your team, you guys create incentives and you do giveaways and campaigns and you keep it fresh and exciting. And your team is trained up on how to use the ATM system. Like we were just talking before we went live, there's a lot of networkers out there that they just like send a YouTube link, right? And you did that for a couple of years. I know I did something like that in the past.
Yeah.
And you know how I figured out this ATM system before we actually had a name for it? Back in 2013, I still remember this guy that I was working with. He had a couple of my teammates, and they set up this like Facebook group. And I didn't know what it was or the value in it, but we just started putting like specific trainings in there because we were trying to do the whole like attraction marketing thing and not saying the name of your company, which, obviously we still do that today. But back then it was kind of like this new thing.
Right.
So we're like, so we can be more promotional and talk more about the company in this training group. We're going to train our team in the group. And then I just started adding prospects to it. I just was like, okay, well, this person's
so
thinking
funny.
about
We did the
joining.
same thing. That's hilarious.
Right.
There was 12 of us. We just got started in a company. And we were like, we don't want everybody to know the name of the company.
Right.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I don't know. Did you do weekly meetings back in the day?
Weekly. Yeah. Like 3-4 times a week, like anything we could to like get
Right.
people to pull teeth to get people there. Yeah. And sometimes we just presented to each other because no one showed up. Yeah.
That's always the worst when there's like one guest and then they figure it out. Right. Like, so you're like the only one here. So, and then we got like a new speaker up there in front of the room. They're like, so how many of us are brand new? And it's like, dude, don't say that. There's like 12 people here. One new person raises their hand and they're kind of like, oh shit. Like,
they're like, nobody wants to be here.
You only sucker. But back in the day, we used to have these weekly Saturday meetings, and eventually we blew that up. We had hundreds of people coming to like a Saturday training, but then we would explode this other market. So we'd have a weekly meeting Thursdays in Pennsylvania and a weekly meeting Tuesdays in Virginia. Long story short, our mindset was you do meetings all week. If they join, get them to the Saturday training or the weekly meeting in Virginia or wherever it was. So you do meetings all week, home meetings, and then everybody that joins or is thinking about joining, you get them to the training. So now if they join, they're freaking trained. So that's how I was looking at the Facebook group. And I remember the first time I ever heard Danny Johnson say, expose. How many of you remember Danny Johnson or have heard her trainings before? I don't think she does as much network marketing training, but back in like 2007, I went to one of her events. And again in like 2012. And she would talk about expose, involve, upgrade. Expose, involve, upgrade. So we would expose people to the information. We'd get them involved in the community, get them involved in a meeting.
Yes.
Meeting other people, and they would upgrade. So it's the same deal with the ATM system. You add them tag them in a post. You get them in the community. They're meeting other people, right? You do the group chat. How many of you are doing the ATM system now and you're realizing the value isn't necessarily the information, but it's them being a part of the community. Sure, the information, you need the information. But if I'm just sending them YouTube links, like how many of us will watch a YouTube video and then you're down the rabbit hole, right?
Well, yeah, it doesn't give you the option. You're in a playlist, so who knows what you're watching next. Now Facebook's starting to do that.
Oh, I know. Of course they are. Copycat. I mean, they're all copycats. Like they all copy each other. Yeah. They use what's working on one platform.
Well, they need to tighten up what comes after my videos on Facebook Watch. Just gonna say that out loud. I was like, what is that?
No, that's great. It's super weird too, because you would think they would continue with the channel you're on, but they don't.
They don't.
They send whatever they want.
They don't get it yet. They just don't get it. But here's my thing too. When I remember when I sucked, like at enrolling or getting customers or anything, which was for 2 years, a very long time, I was sending video links. I never knew if somebody watched it.
Right.
I had no idea if they watched it. They could lie and say they did just to shut me up. And because I was so nervous, I didn't keep prying to ask a bazillion questions to see. I was just like, oh, they're not interested. I kept it moving.
Right.
And so there was no community. I couldn't get them to a meeting. If they did come to the meeting, they were the only one there. And then they felt like, ew. And then, or you give them enough, drinks. Hopefully they sign up, but then they do nothing, like all that was going on. And then with the Facebook group, it was that community. And so that's what upgrades so many of these customers into actually building the business as well. So when I hear someone say, well, my Facebook group's dead, I'm like, you can revive that sucker in 5.5 seconds. Like you really can, and the ATM method is just such a huge part, and people don't even know, like Facebook groups, it's the ATM method. You're just maybe not utilizing the strategies the right way to upgrade people, involve them. I love that, by the way. Expose, involve, and upgrade. That's powerful.
And the whole point of it too is to capture leads.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like you built this phenomenal brand, this phenomenal community. You have a massive email list. You have a massive Facebook group, and it's a community, right? You're healers.
Yes.
I mean, that's the state. We started building our personal brand in 2013, seriously, and we launched our own Facebook group that now has over 30,000 network marketers from various companies. And anyway, the point is, that's the same strategy, just not for our network marketing business, but it built this huge community, and we promote courses, we promote affiliate programs, other things, physical products. We're doing a big Black Friday deal. We'll ask questions in there. Like, there's definitely value, huge value in a Facebook group. But I think most people are either not using it correctly, or they're not using it at all, or they didn't do it over a sustained period of time. And look, it's like anything else. Like, I remember my weekly meetings when they sucked. Now, thank God I don't do those anymore, but I remember when there was just a handful of people in the room, and like you said, they were all reps. So we were just practicing on each other, and we're like, but one day happened, and we had
one day.
There was nowhere to park in the parking lot, but that took time. That took consistent effort. And by the way, even once we built up huge weekly meetings, eventually, guess what? They would die off. Even our biggest weekly meetings eventually would die off. So we would have to tap into a new market. We'd have to start a weekly meeting an hour north or an hour south, like some other area that was less saturated. So with your Facebook groups, sometimes, sure, you might have some stagnation, or it's not as exciting as it once was, but there are plenty of ways to revive it. And honestly, the main way to revive a group is to add new people to it, right?
Add new people.
It's just like your network marketing business. It's like, well, I've been at the same rank for the last 6 months, just hanging on by a thread, just maintaining. And it's like, when's the last time you started a new team?
Start a new team. All day, every day. So here's what I want to know. I'm curious, for those of you that are on, how many of you are utilizing the ATM strategy? Drop ATM in the comments below. And how many of you are not? Put new to ATM, NEW to ATM if you're new to it. I'm curious to see how many newbies are on here, because I know we have a lot of companies that are now making the shift to building online with everything that's happened, right? I mean, a lot of new companies are, and I know there's a lot of leaders that are losing lines. And the quickest way I found, and you found, to build up is through the ATM strategy, because you can build on social media anywhere, and it doesn't really matter where someone lives. They don't have to wait for that weekly meeting, or they don't even have to wait for a weekly webinar. They don't have to wait for anything that's live. They have things inside a group that they can evergreen, right? That they can tag on. And that's powerful. And I think a lot of people that are even using the ATM method don't understand the power of that.
Now, that's the biggest thing, though, right?
Yeah.
I can interview you in an ATM group, and years later, people are still tagging their prospects in that conversation. We're having people go live in the group. We're having, giveaways and special promos, special interviews, announcements. We're asking questions, always finding strategic ways to keep it going. And I think the biggest thing that networkers struggle with, and you hit the nail on the head. There's so many companies, which I don't even understand how this is possible, but there's still companies that are not fully embracing building online. Which is crazy, because I'm like, how else are you building? Right? It's been 9 months of a pandemic. There's no way they're doing home meetings, at least not all the time, even if they started doing it. Like, it's just, what are you doing? Now, some will say, well, we're doing Zooms all the time. I'll never forget, I was following this one leader, and we're just Instagram connection. It's an Instagram connection, whatever, friends, whatever. And she posts, my 17th Zoom of the day. And I'm like, why do you have to repeat yourself 17 times in one day, let alone 1 week or month? Like, why can't you just create a video, create a piece of content, add it to the units, add it to your ATM group, and just tag people? Now, I know sometimes there's like a special promotion, like right now, we're all yeah,
there's a time and a place to go live, but why would you do it 17 times in one day?
Right. And I think they were all like 3-way Zooms. She just kept, I know, I'm like, that is wild.
But that's not necessary. But here's the cool part, is that we're in a place right now. And what I'm really excited about with this event is we're able to shift a lot of that stinking thinking to think that that's the only way. And I think that we're just so blessed, John, because we figured it out a lot faster than some. And now I'm just grateful we've got it to where we can help those other leaders to really make that shift. Actually, Kimberly has a question. I think it's great. And I think this is great for everyone to see. So I have a boutique group. Do you add prospects there for biz opportunity, or do I make another group for prospects?
Constant question we get. I think it just depends on your bandwidth. I would prefer, if it's a perfect world and you have enough people to support the groups, right, plural, I would prefer to have a product-centric group and then have a business group. Now, I do have students that have gone through our stuff, and they have just one group. They have one group that promotes the products or the service or whatever it is and the opportunity. I just think eventually that will become challenging because a customer doesn't really want to see a bunch of rank advancement promotions and posts. And at some point, you would hope you have so much momentum. And that, again, it goes back to the duplication, the simplicity of like, I tell people straight up, all you have to do is what I'm doing with you right now. Add people to these two groups. One's about the products, one's about the business. Tag them in the exact same videos I'm tagging you in. Do you think you know some humans that want to lose weight, live longer, look younger, feel better, or make money from their phone? If you know anyone that fits into those categories, feel free to add them to the exact same groups, tag them, and put them in a chat with me, and I'll answer their questions. So it couldn't be easier. Now, you're still going to get people that are like Facebook dummies, but I think you'll find just in general, there's more people that know how to use Facebook. My mom knows how to use Facebook.
Yeah, mine too.
If you know my mom, you'd understand. Like, she doesn't have an Instagram. She ain't on the TikTok. She ain't on Twitter. But she's got a Facebook. I think almost all of us would agree that the average human, the average person, has a Facebook, unless they're under the age of 25. Now, you might say, well, my son's 18. He's got a Snapchat, Instagram, no Facebook. Okay, I don't really tap into that demographic. But of course, when you go to the event on December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, Slay Online Sales with Marina Simone and all the amazing trainers, you're going to learn all the other strategies. This is not, now I always want to be very clear, because sometimes I get a little agitated when I hear people say like, oh, well, ATM isn't the only thing that you should be doing, or some
like ATM shouldn't be the first touch, and it shouldn't be the only thing you do, right? Yeah.
And we're like, obviously. The ATM system is meant to expose people to the information to make a buying decision and be added to a community so you can capture freaking leads on case. Let's all keep it 100. You ready? You're going to have some people that get excited, get in and do nothing, and they're going to quit in a month, or I shouldn't actually say nothing, but eventually they'll do nothing. Eventually they'll quit. But over the course of 90 days, 6 months, 2 years, they added a few hundred of their friends into the group. So what happens in these ATM groups, now this doesn't happen like every day. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens often where somebody is like, hey, I want to buy that product. Hey, I want to buy that new flavor. Hey, what's this new product or this promotion? And we're like, well, who added you? And they're like, I don't know. That was like 3 years ago. And I'm like, how cool is that? To have a lead that's interested in a group they were added to years ago, and they don't even remember who added them, and that person may have quit. High probability that the person quit. But because they're in the group and they were captured in that community, now they see the promo.
And here's my favorite part is that the way that you and Nadia, but Nadia is teaching a whole separate part at this event, which I'm really excited about too, because of her, I'm able to do so many more things with her outsourcing. But the way that you teach it, it's very doable for someone who has a very large team or for someone that doesn't even have a team yet.
Right.
And I think that I just saw that question. Joelle says, how small can a team be to create an ATM system? You don't even have to have a team to create that ATM system. And that's something that I love, because that means it duplicates on all different levels. And we have all different levels that'll be at this event, which is important. By the way, if you share this, you're going to enter into a raffle to win one of our swag, the shirts downstairs, of course, but it's our new Slay Online Sales Summit shirt. So make sure you share this and drop share it in the comments, because
and here, I'll make it nice too. I'll give away 2 of my ATM business academies to people that are sharing this information. And look, y'all got to get a ticket. Like, this event is going to be the best event that you could attend, especially to close out the year. Because here's the thing. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I mean, it's this week. Like, this is it. It's happening. Now, I can't say that every company crushes Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but I would bet 90% of you watching this, you got something going on right now that's really juicy. Take advantage of it. But if you're a leader, or you're wanting to be a leader, you're a wannabe, right? I think we can agree that as exciting as this period of the year is, here's the truth. It's going to end, and then it's December. And you're going to be like, oh, womp, womp, womp. You might have some deals going on in December. You might still crush December, but I've been doing this for almost 2 decades. And in my experience, at least over the last 5 years especially, November has been massive. December hasn't been bad, but it's never as good as November. However, one of the reasons we've consistently produced through the holidays, through the summer, through the slow time of year, because of events, because of reasons that keep people going. And one of the big things that keeps people going 100% would be events. So to have an event that's literally December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, right after Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Might have been a little tricky.
Right. I mean, it's just a perfect time, and you have replay access, and the fact that you're going to learn so many different strategies. You should be getting everybody on your team. Like, these tickets are crazy affordable. If it was a live event, it wouldn't be this cheap, right? Like, meaning if we had to fly and travel and all the things, but it could be just as impactful. However, I think if you attend this event and you're by yourself, it's not a bad thing to be by yourself, but I think you're going to sit there and go, oh, I should have had my team registered for this. Get them registered. I think you still have the 10 packs available as well. You're really serious. You got some other options, VIP options. I just know events have changed my life.
Yeah.
I'm not the person I am today. And a big part of that, I'm not the person I was 19 years ago when I got in this profession because of the people I've learned from and worked with, and the events that I've attended. And when you have the opportunity to go to an event where, yeah, you're going to learn the practices, strategies that are working best on social media and network marketing, especially online network marketing, but you're going to get inspired, and you're going to have some mindset shifts during that event that can help you not just close out this year strong, starting the last month of the year with a bang, with the best possible training you could attend, with one of the best lineups I've ever seen. But that's how you crush the next year, right? So many people are like, I want to crush it next year. I can't wait till New Year's. And I'm like, if you want to win the race, why not start running before the gun goes off, right? Like, start running now, start building now. The people that are crushing it right now, they started running 90 days ago. The people that are going to be crushing it in 2021 are the ones that are not just at your event, but they're getting all of their teammates registered for the event, and maybe even get together, like set up like a chat for all your teammates that are going to be attending the event, so you guys can experience it together. You could create incentives and promotions around the event. Like, I gave away 10 tickets because I knew I wanted to promote the heck out of it, and I wanted to recognize people that are doing the work and to make sure they attend the event so they can come out of 2020 with a bang.
I love that. All right, let's pick a shirt winner and an ATM winner. So you're going to tell me when to stop.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Deanna Schuckman. I don't know if I said your name right, but congratulations. We'll give John's away first. ATM Academy, Business Academy. Thank you so much for doing that, John. I'm so excited. Okay, let's do another one. This is for the Slay Online Sales Summit shirt, which, by the way, is super cute. I mean, you can tell me when to stop.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And where is it shared? Where is it? Oh, it's a tagging someone. It's the same thing right there. Tiffany Campbell, congratulations. You won a Slay Online Sales Summit shirt. I'm so excited for you. So let's give a little inside. Let's talk a little bit on the inside. Like, when you're coming, because there's a lot of questions. Hold your questions for the summit, you guys, because we are going to have a little Q&A part inside the summit. So you definitely want to bring those to the summit when you come in. It's a separate Facebook group too. So there are some shifts that have happened with the ATM strategy. Yes.
Yeah.
And what would you say to someone who's like, I'm already using ATM, but I want it to be better? What are some of the things you think that they're going to get? I got a shirt and it's sexy. I know, Michelle, you got your shirt before I did. What would you say are some of the things that they can expect to learn from you from the summit?
So I think it's really important for people to understand that with any strategy, whether it's the ATM system, group chats, it is a process, right? I wish there was like this one magical thing you could do that would just get all kinds of excitement and momentum in your group. But the biggest thing is you leading by example, and you being the one to add people to that group, you being the one showing people like, I'm adding, I'm tagging. And then here's what you do. When you start getting people on your team that are doing the same thing, shouting them out, recognizing what you want repeated. One thing that we've done a really great job of, like the culture within our team, just, within these groups, is constantly recognizing people that are ATMing.
You do so well at that. I don't even know how you keep up sometimes, but that's what you do. Yeah. It's like, honestly though, like, that's the biggest part that drew me to being a part of you. It was all of that before I even joined. So that's a big piece that's probably missing from a lot of these ATM groups, right? Is
Right.
just not the presentation, but the community part.
Yeah. I mean, recognition is everything. And you duplicate recognition, right? Like, shout out to Marina Simone. She started 2 new teams today. Shout out to, Kimberly Olson. She's acquired 3 customers. Shout out to this person, shout out to that person. And what's happening is everybody's doing all these shout outs, like shout out to so-and-so for doing their first curiosity post. Shout out to so-and-so that got their first promotion, their first rank advancement. And it's like, you just constantly see people either promoting a rank advancement, promoting someone doing their first live video. You're sharing ideas, like sharing someone else's TikTok video. And it's just constantly keeping fresh ideas in the group and recognition and excitement. And then, of course, like I mentioned, you could do big giveaways, give away some product, give away some money.
What we did a $5,000 giveaway.
Yeah.
I donated 5,000, and then we did 1,500 the next month,
Right.
right away. But it pays for itself when you
Right.
have, a bunch of team members that are actively using that group. And it's just a great way to give back.
Yeah.
Which I think is awesome too.
And I think it's also important to remember that the best sellers are also great educators. Like, the reason you crush it consistently because you're always putting out value and content, teaching. And when people are learning something from you, they're more likely to buy from you. So inside your ATM groups, it shouldn't just be, especially if you have a product ATM group, if it's only adding people to the group to tag them in a video, that's not enough. You got to have testimonials in there, incentivize people maybe to
you can
share
even bring those TikToks and reels in there, man, because a lot of the time those are huge, and I don't see a lot of people doing that yet. And so that's been a big, big eye opener on TikTok, and for reels, 15 seconds, and people are buying product off of them, right? Well, why can't you bring those back into the group and get some engagement? I mean, we were doing that for a little bit, and then we stopped, and then Marissa and I the other day were like, we're going to do that again, because it just makes sense, right?
Well, especially if one does really well, right? It's going to, if it's working on TikTok, and they're getting a lot of leads from it, and people are like, oh my gosh, what are you eating? What products are you using? They're getting a good response from it. We had this woman, Tabitha Jenkins. She's not an influencer. She literally opened up her TikTok account and just started sharing her before and after and talking about why she loves the product. And if you met Tabitha, you'd be like, oh, she's just like a normal person. She's not, again, some big leader, big producer, but she opened up a TikTok account and literally had a couple videos just go viral within like an hour, like a couple hours. It's immediately getting leads and thousands of views. So obviously she's gotten more serious over there, and she's consistently getting results. But like literally in 1 week, it was like her maybe 3rd week on TikTok, she did like 3,000 in sales from strangers. If that video does well there, like you said, it's going to do well in Reels. It's going to do well in a Facebook group. It's just playing with different modalities and testing out different conversations. And it is tough to stand out sometimes. It's very noisy on Facebook. It's all the political stuff. Like, can we just like move past this already? But there's still a lot of engaged communities on Facebook. There's a lot of groups that have, in fact, I notice sometimes I get better engagement in a Facebook group than I will on my personal wall. So don't think for 1 second that Facebook groups are dead. We just had a woman do a training on Saturday, Katie. She recruited 3 people in 24 hours. Now, this is not the ATM system per se, but this is her being in a mom's group, and she's in a Harry Potter group and a Disney group and all these groups, but she goes in there and just makes friends. And she had one post where someone was asking how they can make an extra 500 from home. And she just shared her story, tried to be as non-salesy as possible. She got 60 leads, ATM'd all of them, right? All the ones that sent her friend requests, added them to the group. She signed up 3 people in 24 hours as distributors.
ATM is not dead, people. ATM is not dead. Facebook groups are not dead, people. Like, they're not dead. Like, if you have trainers that are saying that and you're getting confused, like, I just think I need to say this out loud, is like, maybe the group thing you just don't want to pursue. That's fine. There's other ways to build. Fine, cool. But the ATM strategy is not dead. In fact, it is stronger than ever. and is in fact blowing up even faster than ever because Facebook groups creates community. And right now, more than ever, people need community. So you need to learn how to create community in your groups to get them to work. And I think that's a big piece of what John's going to be sharing with you at the event.
And just to wrap up with this, you just hit the nail on the head. We have to remember it is a community. So we want other members in the community to participate. And I think one of the reasons our ATM groups have always done well, and I'm not just talking about mine, I'm talking about like on the team, like you have your ATM groups and others are running their own like product ATM groups because everybody is contributing, right? There's so much contribution. And sometimes it's the customer that's in there sharing their before and after, or it's, you do a post, for Q&A and people are asking their questions and then you're going into the group, into the comments and answering the questions. There's so many ways to have other members come into the group, do a 5-minute testimonial video, do an interview sequence. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do if you just get creative with some of your leaders, some of the admins or moderators of the group and say, hey, what can we do this week? Or what can we do this month that can either empower, educate, right? And we know the deal. It's the same kind of stuff we do on our personal page, right? We want to 80 to 90% of the time provide value. And then that 10 to 20% of the time, talk about your products, create some curiosity, nonchalantly mention your business to generate leads and get people asking, well, what is it? Tell me more. But they're not going to pay attention to someone that's a freaking spammy Stanley. And they're not going to pay attention to some group that is constantly just selling and pitching either. It's the same freaking deal in groups that it is on your wall, your stories, or anywhere else.
Yep. And here's the other piece too. Stop paying attention to the people, like the number of comments, number of likes, number of shares, and really create a connection with those that are paying attention to you, especially in groups. For those of you that have smaller teams, it gives you that chance to really connect with those people inside the group as well. So, John, I know you're busy and you've got so much going on, and I'm just so grateful that you're here. I can't wait to see you at the event. Let's give away the last 2 presents, gifts, whatever you want to call them. Okay, ready? Here we go. Tell me when.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Tracy Holland, congratulations. You won the ATM strategy. I'm writing them down, by the way.
Perfect.
Congratulations. You're the winner chicken dinner. Well, turkey dinner, I guess, if you want to keep it.
Turkey dinner. There you go. Congratulations, Tracy.
Good job, Tracy. So excited for you. All right, tell me when to stop.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ellen, you won the SOS shirt, Slay Online Sales Summit shirt. Ellen, congratulations. I'm so excited
Ellen.
for you. So you guys just have to email info@momsandheels.com, email info@momsandheels.com, or support@momsandheels.com, whichever one of those. And then you tell us, your email and all that jazz and your address if I'm sending you something, so this way we can get it to you. John, I'm so excited and honored that you chose to speak at my event. I'm honored that Nadia is also going to be speaking. So Nadia is his other half, the Russian hammer. You #obey everything she says, and she's going to be teaching about outsourcing. So all of you busy mamas that are like, I don't know how to get my life done. Oh, she is the queen of getting stuff done with outsourcing. And it doesn't matter if you think you're broke, you're not broke when it comes to the outsourcing piece of it, I promise you. So thanks for being here, John.
Absolutely.
Grateful for you.
Absolutely.
See you.
Get your ticket.
Yes. Get your ticket.
We'll see you next. Is it literally? It's next week.
I know. Stop. My stomach's already turning. I'm so nervous. All right,
y'all. Happy Thanksgiving. Crush it. Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Let's get it.
Bye.
Bye.